Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All glories to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Radha Madhava, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, by whose mercy we are able to understand the divine words of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna, guys. So in this video we'll read verse number 31 to 35 of chapter 1. So let's start with verse number 31. Na cha shreyo na pashyami hatva swajanamahave na kangshe vijayam Krishna na cha rajyam sukhani cha. Na nor cha also shreya good anupashyami do I foresee hatva by killing swajanam own kinsman ahave in the fight, na nor kankshe do I desire, vijayam victory Krishna O Krishna, na nor cha also rajyam kingdom, sukhani happiness thereof cha also. So Arjuna says, I do not see how any good can come from killing mine own kinsman in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom or happiness. Right? Purport given by His grace. Without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. Right? In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for a Kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya who dies directly in front of the battlefield under Krishna's personal orders, and the person in the renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thinks that by killing his kinsmen, there would be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook, right? Just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook because this person is only thinking about himself, right? He is not thinking about his or her responsibility towards his family members and other people in the society, right, who are hungry, right? He is only thinking about himself, that he is not hungry, so he will not cook. So that is the state of Arjuna right now, that he has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. But as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence, because the Kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjuna has no kingdom. Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration. Right? So guys, we'll move to verse number 32 to 35. So these are the verses. So the verse goes like this. Kim no rajenya govinda kim bhoger jivitena va esham arthe kangshitam no rajyam bhogah sukhani cha taime vasthita yuddhe pranam styaktva dhanani cha acharya pitarah putras tathaiva cha pitamaha matula swasura pautra श्यालसम्बन्धिनास्तथा एतान् हन्तुमिच्छामि ज्ञातोऽपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराजस्य हेतो किं नु मही कृते निहत्य धर्तराष्ट्रान् का प्रीति स्याज्जनार्दना. Right? Kim, what use na to us? Rajanya is the kingdom. Govinda, O Krishna. Kim, what? Bhogai, enjoyment. Jivitena, living. Va, either yesham, of whom, arthe, for the sake, kangshitam is desired, na, by us, rajyam, kingdom, bhogaha, material enjoyment, sukhani, all happiness, cha, also, they all of them, ime this avasthita situated yuddhe on this battle pranan lives Tyaktva giving up dhanani riches cha also acharya teachers pitaraha fathers putraha sons tatha as well as eva certainly cha also pitamaha grandfathers matulaha maternal uncles sasura fathers-in-law putraha grandsons shyalaha brothers-in-law sambandhina relatives tatha as well as etan all these na never Hantum to kill Ichchami, do I wish Gnata being killed, Api even Madhusudana, O killer of the demon Madhu, Krishna, Api even if Trailokya of the three worlds, Rajasya for the kingdom, Hetaho in exchange, Kimnu, what to speak of, Mahikrite for the sake of the earth, right? Nihatya by killing, Dharta Rashtra and the sons of Dhritarashtra, Na Arka what, Priti pleasure, Shyat will there be Janardana, O maintainer of all living entities, right? So Arjuna goes on to say to Krishna, Lord Krishna, that, O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So, purport given by His Grace. Purport: Arjuna has addressed Lord Krishna as Govinda because Krishna is the object of all pleasure for cows and the senses, right? By using this significant word, Arjuna indicates that Krishna should understand what will satisfy Arjuna's senses, but Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses, right? But Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses. It's not like you go to temple and you give one laddu to Krishna and you have list of all the things that you want and that Krishna will fulfill you, like delivering orders and all those things. So that's not how it works. That Prabhupada says that Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses, right? If we try to satisfy the senses of Govinda, however, then automatically our senses are satisfied. Materially, everyone wants to satisfy his senses, and he wants God to be the order supplier for such satisfaction. So materially, the people who are under Maya, right, in this materialistic world, materially everyone wants to satisfy his or her own senses, right? Every person has his list of wants and desires that he or she wants in their life, right? And they want God to be the order supplier for such list of items that they want in their life, right? So he or she wants God to be the order supplier for such satisfactions. The Lord will satisfy the senses of the living entities as much as they deserve. See, it is very important. The Lord will satisfy the senses of the living entities as much as they deserve, but not to the extent that they may covet, right? But when one takes the opposite way, namely, when one tries to satisfy the senses of Govinda without desiring to satisfy one's own senses, right? Then by the grace of Govinda, all desires of the living entity are satisfied, right? Arjuna's deep affection for community and family members is exhibited here partly due to his natural compassion for them, right? He is therefore not prepared to fight at all, right? Everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives, but Arjuna fears that all his relatives and friends will be killed on the battlefield and he will be unable to share his opulence after victory. This is a typical calculation of a material life, right? The transcendental life, however, is different. Since a devotee wants to satisfy the desires of the Lord, he can, Lord willingly, accept all kinds of opulence for the service of the Lord. And if the Lord is not willing, he should not accept a farthing. Right? Arjuna did not want to kill his relatives, and if there were any need to kill them, he desired that Krishna kill them personally. At this point, he did not know that Krishna had already killed them before their coming into the battlefield, and that he was only to become an instrument for Krishna. Right? This fact is disclosed in following chapters. As a natural devotee of the Lord, Arjuna did not like to retaliate against his miscreant cousins and brothers, but it was the Lord's plan that they should all be killed. Right? The devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer. Right? The devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer, but the Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotees by the miscreants. Right? The Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotees by the miscreants. Right? The Lord can excuse a person on his own account, but he excuses no one who has done harm to his devotees. Therefore, the Lord was determined to kill the miscreants, although Arjuna wanted to excuse them. Right? So, guys, in the next video, we'll continue from verse number 36. Right? We'll continue from verse number 36. Okay? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.